few updates in SIFT to be aware of, some that are coming. First and foremost, there's the roadmap option. So make sure you guys go there, look at the features that we have under consideration, and you can vote for them and all that good stuff. Integrations are down at the bottom that you can vote for. You know, look at these first. You can see what we have planned right now. We're working on launch control integration, smart content integration, smartphone, list page folders, sequence folders, tags page folders, offers version 2, bulk postcards, exhaustive records filter, update additional fields, and or filters records page. So you'll be able to do and or combinations on your filters. In progress right now, obviously SIFT line, I'll kind of show you guys that in a second. Notification system, task filters, and owners records page are launching tomorrow or Thursday. Phone limits updates, so our business users are going to have the ability to have up to 30 phone numbers. So that's super awesome. If you already have 30 phone numbers, like if you already have more phone numbers on an owner, because you can upload as many phone numbers as you guys want to an owner. You're just not going to be able to see the phone numbers. Right? That's how it works. The front end restricts it to 10, but you could upload 20. And so what's going to be interesting when we release this is it's going to say, you're going to see like a more button, and you can click more, and it's just going to show how many phone numbers, but it's going to be grayed out. And it's going to say like, hey, upgrade to see the rest of the phone numbers that you might have. So also search bar autocomplete. So I'll show you guys an example of that in just a second. Last updated filters, and that's that. So owner's records page. This is an example of that. Some really cool things that I'm excited about with this. This is version 1, but doing cool things like let's say phone status does not include correct numbers. So meaning I don't have any correct numbers for the owner, and they own between let's say property count is between 3 and 6 properties. Okay, so on my live earlier today, you can check in the Facebook group. This would be, so 2,580 properties fits this criteria, which would mean roughly in this scenario, because I did 6 instead of 5, almost 10,000 properties. So you can market to 2,580 homeowners or 10,000 properties. Which one do you think is going to be faster to get your answer? Which one do you think is going to probably produce more properties under contract, right? And so you can start at the very top here, and you can literally just call each phone number, update the statuses, use call attempts for owners, which are separate than properties. And you can see this owner right here is a great example. This owner owns 6 properties, 3 of which are on 2 or more lists, right? So maybe I can market this person and lock up multiple of these properties. I basically do niche sequential marketing, but I just do it based on owners. However, there's no statuses or anything like that. So if he decides he does want to sell, you would want to update the properties, not the owner. And so you just click next owner, and you literally just market through it. So I know that if you're in operation right now and you have, some records and stuff, and let's say you're in your first few months of business, or even you're just trying to gain some traction, market based off the owners page. Don't base off the records page. Filter down by owners that own a certain amount of properties, and rock with that. And so that's a really cool way to do that. Marketing attempts will update here, and you can go through and you can see how many verified phone numbers you have, all that good stuff. We are adding, so version 2 of this is adding the capability to filter by property parameters on owners. So you'll be able to filter by property counts 3 to 6, and one of those properties contains tax delinquency at least, right? So that you can narrow down and create some really niche. Because remember, when we market, we're not marketing to the property, we're marketing to the homeowner, right? And so this kind of expedites that and compounds it like crazy. This is how, like in 2019, I mentioned this again, I hate to be like a broken horse saying it, but like we did 1.3 million in revenue, 35,000 in marketing, because our average contract value was 3 or 4 properties per contract, right? We had 13 contracts. It was a total like 40 some properties that we had under contract. And so it was because of doing this kind of strategy. Back then, I didn't have the power of REISift. I had to use Google Sheets for it. It sucked. But now it's here. So lots of cool things coming with that. You can also see what owners you have that have 0 properties. So why is that super fucking awesome? Because if I do go first to market, and let's just say I uploaded these records because someone just gave me a bunch of, I don't know, owner informations. Or let's just say this person used to have a property, but they sold it and they don't have it no more. Well, you still have that owner profile, still have their phone numbers. You just don't have any properties associated with them. So if you upload a list in the future that has this owner profile, that has this mailing address and their name, then boom, it's going to attach to this owner, and you already have the phone numbers that you skip traced forever ago. Right. And so what's super awesome is a lot of people don't realize this because you can't view owners without properties on the records page. But I have thousands of homeowners, and this doesn't count towards your upload limit, by the way. Or it doesn't, once it's in here, it doesn't count towards your total limit. Like right now, if I go in here, it says 337,000, properties. That's just properties. That's not owners. So I have way more owners than way more owners without properties. And so, yeah, so it's just money saved, right? In the future, when I upload a list, storing data and tracking your shits is so important. Okay, so that's that. Task filter is really, really, really cool because you're going to be able to filter by, property statuses. Maybe you want to see what leads you have that don't have a task. Just do property status, lead, and then task count 0 to 0. And then you'll see I don't have any here. Maybe you want to see all of the properties that are assigned to acquisition, so they should be making offers, and you can see, do they at least have an offer on it or a task on each one of those? So these ones do, and then I could narrow down even more. Maybe I want to do the task name is at least like make an offer. I don't know what my task is called. Let me look. So I can look, right? So I can do all these combinations and make sure that lead management is happening, right? That all the leads have tasks, that all my acquisitions, essentially what you're going to do is create a flow, right? Like, hey, if it's every sales process has a flow. When it comes to lead management, it's a new lead. So does the new lead have a task? When it comes to follow-up, it's after it's a new lead and I call them and they don't answer, does it have a follow-up task? Once it's a qualified lead, is there an offer task on it, or is there a follow-up task on it? Once it kicks over to an acquisitions department and they're supposed to make an offer, have they made an offer? Do they have a task to follow up on the offer? Right? What is the sales cycle there? And so there should be a filter preset to capture to make sure that none of these gaps are missing in your business, right? And so you just create a recurring task for your acquisitions manager to check on Friday or Monday, does the new lead 0 task filter show up with any properties? If it doesn't, then good, you're in the green. You don't have any leaks, right? So it's basically your leaky faucet prevention system, right? Whatever you want to call it. So task filter is going to be super awesome. There'll be more training on that. That's launching, and the owner's page is launching either tomorrow or Thursday. Now, what is this search records thing I'm talking about? Let me go ahead and grab a property address real quick. Again, you guys can get more detail on this in the live I did earlier. But if I search this address, it'll pop up and just show it here, right? But if I remove the DR, it won't show anything, right? However, if I take it and I search by address on here, it'll show anything that has 723 or Du Bois or however you freaking say that, right? And so it makes it kind of annoying because I'd have to search through 100 if I'm not sure if it's a drive or an avenue or whatever. So sequences, or SIFline rather, SIFline has something different here. SIFline has the capability to add a property based off of just like 7.2, and it'll show automatically anything that has 7.2. Add a 3, start a D, and it will automatically filter 723 whatever. And so if I put the whole address, it'll, or just Du Bois, it'll just show that one, right? And so then I can add that to a board if I want to, and so on and so forth. They might already be in this board, I don't know. So lead follow-up board, it's in there now. Let's say I just did my first attempt, second attempt, all this will be synced to sequences. I'm not going to go into SIFline right now because it's in closed beta, and that's secret sauce. That's going to be on search records. So if I were to search 723 Du Bois, it's such a weird name. I feel weird saying the street name. It would show up with all the options. If I did 7.2, it would show up with all the options. So it would narrow down based off of that. It's not going to pop up as a drop down. It's going to auto filter. right? So we're just cutting out the drop down because there's no reason to do the drop down because you're just gonna have to click on it anyway, and it's gonna have to filter anyway. So why not just filter for you automatically, right? And so that's coming out. That's being worked on now. That'll probably be here in the next like couple weeks. So that's my updates there. Roadmap, owner's records page, task filters, search thingy majiggy, and a little sneak peek on SIF line because why not?